Have you ever heard of a race of beings so mysterious that even the Bible barely dares to describe them? Giants, fallen ones, hybrids between gods and humans, creatures whose existence might explain why the ancient world was wiped clean in the Great Flood. They're called the Nephilim, and today we're going to uncover who or what they really were. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love diving into ancient mysteries, theology, and hidden history, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because today's story takes us deep into one of the strangest corners of the Old Testament, a place where angels fall, giants rise, and humanity crosses a line it was never meant to cross. So let's begin, right at the source. In the book of Genesis, chapter 6, there's a strange passage that almost feels out of place. It says, "When human beings began to increase in number on the earth, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose." The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. That's it. Just 4 verses. But those few lines have spawned centuries of debate. So, who were these sons of God? And who were the Nephilim? Their children. One interpretation, the fallen angel view, says the sons of God were divine beings, angels who left heaven and took human women as wives. The result? Hybrid offspring, half angel, half human, beings of immense strength, size, and corruption. Another idea, the Sethite view, argues they weren't angels at all, but men from the godly line of Seth, Adam and Eve's son, who married women from the wicked line of Cain. In this case, the Nephilim were just mighty or notorious humans, not supernatural. Let's pause on the word Nephilim itself. In Hebrew, it only appears twice in the Bible. Once in Genesis and again in Numbers, where Israelite spies exploring Canaan report in fear, "We saw the Nephilim there. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes and we looked the same to them." That image of humans trembling before giant beings is what fuels the giant idea. The Hebrew root of Nephilim is naphal, which means to fall. So, were they the fallen ones? Fallen from heaven? From grace? The text never says. If you think the story ends there, it doesn't. The ancient Book of Enoch, not in the traditional Bible but highly influential, expands this story into something much darker. It describes angels called the Watchers who descended to earth, taught humans forbidden knowledge, and took human wives. Their offspring were enormous, violent giants who devoured everything in sight. According to Enoch, that's what triggered the Great Flood. God's way of wiping out the corruption. Sounds like something out of a dark fantasy novel, right? But this text is thousands of years old. There's more. Ancient Mesopotamian myths speak of the Apkallu, half-divine sages. Greek mythology has its own tales of gods mating with mortals to produce demigods like Hercules. The language sounds familiar, doesn't it? It seems almost every ancient culture has stories of divine-human hybrids. So the big question becomes, is the Nephilim story just part of a universal myth pattern, or was it based on something real? Let's jump back to that phrase in Genesis, and also afterward. If the flood wiped out everything, how could the Nephilim still exist later? Did some survive? Did the same corruption happen again? Or was the term Nephilim just a legendary word for any terrifyingly large warrior? In its original context, the Nephilim story leads directly into the Great Flood. The world had become filled with violence. The Nephilim, whether literal or symbolic, represent that corruption reaching its breaking point. Humanity, mingling with divine power, overstepped its boundaries. And so the slate was wiped clean. Fast forward to modern times, and the Nephilim still fascinate us. You'll hear conspiracy theories about ancient giant skeletons being discovered and covered up. The truth? Most of those stories trace back to misidentified fossils, hoaxes, or exaggerated newspaper tales. No verified skeleton of a giant Nephilim has ever been documented by legitimate science. But the idea is too captivating to disappear. The Nephilim embody the mystery of lost knowledge, forbidden power, and our ancient connection to something greater or darker than ourselves. So who were the Nephilim? Fallen angels? Human giants? Symbols of human arrogance? Maybe all of the above. Their story bridges myth and theology, legend and warning, a reminder that the line between heaven and earth has always been thinner than we think. What do you think? Were they real beings, myths, or something else entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into ancient secrets. Until then, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.